Ah, look up, child. We're all children in many ways. And the children of Israel were no different. The children of Israel spent so much time grumbling and complaining. It's one of the interesting things about the children of Israel. And you can find many passages in the Bible that show you all the grumbling that they did. So the children of Israel were in the wilderness for 40 years and were fed by manna. There were some rules and regs as to what they could do and when they could collect it and when they shouldn't collect it. But despite that, many didn't take any notice of what was supposed to happen. And that's like us in our journey of life, wondering why things can sometimes be very ornery. That why is it that this didn't work or that didn't work? In the case of the children of Israel, some of the people thought they could keep the manna overnight, where it bred worms and stank, instead of collecting it daily. So that was the first issue. Some forgot or ignored the advice to collect twice as much the day before the Sabbath and went looking for manna on the Sabbath, and there was none. Number two, they were given instructions as to how much they could collect depending on the size of their family. It doesn't say, as far as I remember, whether or not some of them took too much. That isn't said. When they saw that manna the first morning, they didn't know what it was, and they said, "What is it?" From what we can gather, that was like a very tiny seed or something like that. And I guess I might feel the same way. Sometimes they said it's a little bit like dew on the ground. So they grumbled about the situation regardless. So what does this story mean to us today? We're not being asked to collect manna or live on it for 40 years in a wilderness, or do we? Nor are people telling us what to do and what not to do. But all the stories in the Bible are also stories about us today. When we do ignore the divine teachings, and then we're surprised when things don't work out well. As we know, this world is messy. There's hatred, violence, wars, suffering, etc. And some would say the world is going to hell in a handbasket. But is that really true? As Kubler-Ross once said, this world is like a school. When we get it right, we graduate. This world is messy precisely because this is the journey where we prepare to become angels, or demons, of course, hence the messiness. This, by the way, comforts me in seeing the mess and not getting drawn into the idea, oh, ain't it awful what's happening? The children of Israel grumbled a lot. We have their stories in the Bible. They weren't happy with the manna, even though it and the quail obviously fed them well for a large number of years. Later in the time of Elijah, they grumbled again as to their plight. Some of you may be aware of the beautiful music by Mendelssohn, which the Bernathen Choir will be singing soon, where the children of Israel grumbled again. Yet they did not follow what the divine told them, and much of that caused their plight. When they left Egypt and faced difficulties, they wished they were back in Egypt. Yet they forgot they were slaves there and suffered much. It was a lot of hard time for the children of Israel. And in looking at that, I often say, well, when am I in those different stages that the children of Israel were in? So when we do behave like the children of Israel, grumbling about our lives, so when do we do that? Are there times when we'd like to go back in time to the good old days? I'm also one of those, being quite elderly in many ways. So wouldn't it be nice if we could go back to those times? And what happens? We glorify the past and we forget the hard parts. There's a lot of hard parts in our lives. When asked, few of us would like to go back to our teen years. That has been asked of people several times. Would you like to go back to your teen years? No, no way. We certainly have many different states in our journey on this earth, our morning and evening states and those in between. Just like the children of Israel, the manna they were given represents that unknown good of charity, at least prior to our hopeful regeneration. And their stories illustrate the kind of journeys we have in this world. One of my favorite pictures of the children of Israel is when they cross the Red Sea. I have a beautiful picture somewhere that I guess I gave to somebody of the picture of the children of Israel walking on the dry land with the seas on either side being held back by the divine. And you can see the strength in that being held back. Yet that journey they were on was not straightforward. It was rocky. It wasn't smooth. And there was lots of difficulties in that journey. But that picture of the children of Israel being helped across the dry land is a powerful, for me, a powerful journey that we make with God's help. Manna was also spoken of as a deposit of dew around the camp, which means the truth of peace. So manna is something that can be peaceful. If you think of the way it hit the ground and it was there when they came out in the morning, there's definitely peace there. That's from Secrets of Heaven 8455. And peace is something we will crave in our lives. We all crave for peace, especially when bad things are happening. The passage continues, peace holds within itself trust in the Lord, the trust that he governs all things and provides all things, and that he leads us toward an end that is good. When we believe these things about him, we are at peace, since we fear nothing and have no anxiety about things that come to disturb us. How far we attain this state depends on how far we attain love to the divine. Everything bad, especially trust in self, takes away the state of peace. People think that someone bad is at peace when they're calm and cheerful because everything is going right for them. But this is not peace. It is the calm and delight belonging to evil desires that merely simulates the state of peace. In other words, it's not peaceful for evil people when they don't get what they want. Hence the examples in Swedenborg of how frustrated those in hell become when they can't hurt the good, which is really what they want to do more than anything. The one thing they crave. They are only allowed to hurt each other. While manna was small and almost insignificant, it clearly was powerful, enabling the children of Israel to survive all those years in the wilderness, and clearly illustrates the importance of ultimate peace in our lives. Do you think the children of Israel were able to remember any happy times prior to their time in slavery and or life in the wilderness? Obviously not in the case of the babies and children born in those tortured times. We know that peace often seems elusive. From our journey in this world, we're able to see it not as a smooth, let me say that again. From our journey in this world, we are able to see it is not a smooth journey on a clear path. Sometimes we think childhood was a lovely part of our lives. Yet we know how some children struggle with missing or abusive parents, suffer the scourge of war or hunger and other forms of suffering. Where is the peace for these innocents? Yet we know from Swedenborg that angels protect us all, and innocent children are especially looked after by celestial angels during their lives on this earth. What else do we know about the manna? Or do you? We do know it was very tiny and seemed insignificant. Despite that, it clearly fed them for many years before they reached their real home. In our lives on this earth, it seems that we just have tiny spark of peace or comfort within that keeps us going, despite sometimes experiencing a lot of pain and suffering. So what's that comfort for you? It could be a saying or sayings from the Bible, Swedenborg, or other sacred texts. It could be remembering happy times, anticipating the happier times. So how do we hold on to our faith and hope in the divine? Amen.